What up, everyone? Weekly update. No, the week is November 9th, 2025. Should be a good week for trading. Got some good volatility, fam. We did break a range, which is really good. We're gonna go over all that, but let's go over Bitcoin real quick. And before I start, if you'd like to support me, if you like these weekly updates, sign up with my partner right there, Glowfin. They sponsor these streams. Um, no KYC, great liquidity, never had an issue. Been with them for about 2 years now. Um, and let's go ahead and get started. Um, Here we got Bitcoin. Now, what I'm about to show you right here, right, is I'm about to start this whole chart over. Um, and I want to start from scratch. I think it's really important that people understand kind of like what I see, what you should see, kind of how you should see the market. But if I were to kind of define this price action right here, I would define it by these little boxes, right? These boxes are very important boxes. We're gonna go over like these little ranges, consolidations. Got one right here, right? Um, Not gonna really worry too much about the wicks, right? And we got this one right here. So this is how you should look at any price structure in my opinion. You're always kind of trying to look at the range. I'm looking at the 3-day chart here. These ranges are really important because if you understand and you can see these kind of ranges, just with the naked eye, right? Then you can come over here and you use the fixed range volume profile, which these things are really important because you can basically break these ranges up and it's going to give you the most price action in this area, right? So that's why you would use these. Um, to use the anchored one too. Oops, there we go. There's your anchored one. Um, but yeah, anyways, fixed range volume profile. Anyways, this will kind of give you a good idea of the point of control of these little boxes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this for each one of these right here. And you're not trying to get these big candles when we enter them. You're just basically trying to get the candles that are in that range. So boom. And then we have good. Then we have this one right here, right? We're trying to capture the candles that are within the boxes in the range. Now I'm gonna get rid of the boxes. I kind of just use this as visual reference. And we're gonna look at all of this. And now you're going to see these each one of these nodes represents price action and volume. And so what's nice about this little volume profile is that you can see where we spent kind of like where we spent the most time. Whereas the most volume, kind of this would be the most liquidity in these little ranges. And if you go over here and we kind of just put some lines, right? I want to talk about this line first. So when we were in this previous range, this is post-election pump, right? We got the inauguration. Trump elected, inauguration pump. We had this nice consolidation, which went on for, let's talk about that, 93 days. And this was our point of control right here. It's got the red line, pretty easy. Now, if you take this one right here and you put kind of our value area high for this consolidation, that's more or less what you call it. That's going to be right here. Notice how our price action is right underneath that. That's a really good kind of area to flip this. And again, we'll talk about what this all means. And then you can come put this line right. This one's important too. That's our kind of support. you'd argue. And then you could, of course, put something down here, which is our lower value area low, right? So again, going to do it right here. Major resistance is going to be right there at that 111K. Spend a lot of time up here. In fact, this is really important. If you look at all four of these volume profiles right here, you can see that we spent, there's a lot of volume up here, right? A lot of hands, traded positions, or positions traded with different hands, whatever you want, however you want to call it. But we did spend, there's a lot of volume up here. We spent a total of 111 days, so about the same here. We got about 57 days in that little consolidation. And then basically the same here, about 51 days. So really similar. We got, a B, and an A again as far as time goes. A lot of volume up here at the highs. And we're seeing a nice little weekly pump into the close. CME is opening in about 8 minutes here, fam. So we're going to be kind of watching how they play that. But currently, I believe we're going to have a gap if we open up like this. We'll check that out in about 8 minutes. But I just want to go over how I kind of see things. I think this is really important. Look at the market this way. It gives you really good confluence levels. Look, you can see this right here. Boom, right? This point of control. This was previous resistance right here. Look at this resistance. Boom, boom, boom. 3. Bada, bada, bada. There it is. 111K. Losing that was really big, in my opinion. At least losing that on the 3-day. We had this little consolidation here, and then we did eventually lose that 111K. Now that's going to be the point. We're really going to watch that, and I think that this is 115K is a really good spot. Maybe a little higher, 115, 116K. We can get as high as maybe 118K, but there's a lot of traffic here if we were to really break out above 113. And as far as prices go here, fam, I do, just so you know, the Discord, right? Which, by the way, I'm going to pull it up again. The Blowfin right here. Sign up with my Blowfin. Hit me up on X or join the Discord, which my link's on my X profile. But you sign up there with Blowfin, you get free premium access. You can join the fam for life. That's right, free premium access for life. Sign up with the Blowfin, trade under me. That's all I ask. But the reason we're talking about that is because we actually scalped along this over the weekend, and we're currently in that long scalp. So this is how I profit from the market. Long, shorts, doesn't really matter. I don't have really a bias. But this is how I see things, at least as a kind of a good technical analysis perspective. And we're kind of also go over the EMAs and MAs, which I think are really important. We're going to go over RSI, which I think are really important here as well. But let's go over like my general idea and thought process. I want to do some squigglies now. Now, this is a beautiful chart, fam. It really is a beautiful chart. We got kind of a double top here, right? We have, in my opinion, right? We have really good looking possible, right? This is possible here, fam. Head and shoulders building out. So here we got left shoulder. We got this kind of head. Bitcoin loves these, by the way. And we could easily make that right shoulder. So I think this is going to be key. That level, that 112, 113 going forward. If we were to get over that 112, 113, fam, I'm going to essentially be much more optimistic. Okay. I wouldn't really call myself a bear. I'm just telling you right now what I see. Until we take over that 112, 113 area, I don't think there's really any point in calling for a new high. I think that's just that's irresponsible. So we're gonna play the charts, what they give us, but this could definitely play out. This double head, this double head and shoulders, and then if that were to play out, fam, it's pretty obvious where Bitcoin would be going, right? Because then essentially you have the monster of all monsters, right? head and shoulders, right? And that breaks down to, well, something like $33,000. So, this is not how I'm playing it. This is just an idea. I think images, it's good to visualize these things. It's really important. And so let's see here. Let's go ahead and delete all that. Let's go over our EMAs and MAs and talk about that. Now, I went over this on Twitter. I went over this in the Discord. I'm going to be rhetorical. I think this is, I'm not going to ignore. I'm not going to ignore this. You shouldn't ignore this. But here's the 3-day cross. And we're going to just measure out, going back to here, what the 3-day cross means. And so if you were to have this bearish cross right here, right? Previously, we've seen a drop down to lows. This is 40%. Now, I'm just going to give you from the point we crossed to the lows, 40%. Now, it took a while, just so you guys all know. It took a while. Look at this. This is the 3-day chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 candles right here to get to the lows. After we crossed about 8 to 10 candles. 40% move, though. Bearish cross. This is, I'm not looking this quite yet, but to the lows here, that was 70%. Bearish cross, never crossed it back. We're talking about from bear cross to bull cross here, fam. Bear cross, never crossed it back. That full move, 40%. Full move here was 70%. We might as well use this one right here. All right, so this was a pretty good save. They crossed it, bearish, 12% move down. So that's probably the smallest one you've ever seen, in historically. And then here to the lows, that's about 22%. Across here, right? Average about that 20%, 18%. And then again, if we were to take the average and just take the low side, 11%, we've seen that. If we were to take a little bit higher side, 18%, that's 92K. 20%, it's about 90K. And why is 90K an important level? I think 90K is an important level because if you just zoom out to this monthly chart here on Bitcoin, and just again, I'm just kind of a visual guy. Now it's a long month, fam. Long month. They have zero volatility. What's that mean? There's a huge fight going on. Huge fight behind the scenes between the bulls and the bears. There's either a lot of selling, there's a lot of absorption to that selling, so they're holding the line, or there's a lot of buying and the sellers are absorbing the buy side, right? That's what this very zero volatility means on the monthly. But if I were just kind of look at this if I were to look at this in an easy, clean way, I would tell you like this is the level I would think we were going to, right? Get rid of the EMA. Like just first thought, look at that monthly level. And I'm like, damn, that would be the level. All right. Why is that an important level? Well, fam, if you look at this chart, we could easily come down here and then continue up. So, respectfully, if you're bullish, then let's finish the move. Let's have that 3-day cross that averages about 20% historically, right? Take us down to the 92. All right, look at that. It's such a clean level, fam. Get that 20%. Look at that. Boom. We'll say 18%, just like this move. Pick it up. Send us up. And everything goes with it, right? Bitcoin makes that clean break of the highs. That is an ugly high. Clean break of the highs right here. And everything sends. Kind of how I want to play it. But right now, I can see in a sea of uncertainty that I don't see really a reason to be risk on. So this is more of a traditional market than ever. I can easily see us chopping sideways here until we break down, test this, then a bigger pop, and then where are we in a bull market or are we in a bear market, right? Are we going to make new highs or are we going to make new lows? Right? Have to defend that. Really, there's a lot of time, fam. I'd say 90k. That 88 to 92k is really really important. If we were to start trading below 90k, I'm pretty sure it's over. But I can easily see a bounce, front run maybe 93, 94k. And we're gonna probably chop until we get down there. Right now, we're looking for 108, 110k on the weekend scalp. Currently, Bitcoin that did just pump, right, has a little bit of a CME gap. Pretty sure. Right. Yes. So we do have a little CME gap here. I would like to see it get filled. That's about a $1,000 difference. Might happen, might not. But so far, 3D has a nice bounce. Could easily pump up there to that 111k resistance. And that's Bitcoin for you, fam. All right, here let's look at Zcash. That's kind of been the hot one lately. We caught spot at the bottom. We sold in the 250s to 270 area, and we sold way too early. That's reality. That is reality. So, a little mess here. All right, so this is a really good one. Actually, I'm glad we're looking at the 1 hour, but Zcash 1 hour is kind of slowing down. Right, we got the highs, beautiful highs. Gonna be distributing a little bit. We got low volatility on this 1 hour going into close. Probably dumps right away. To be honest, I would have loved to see it sweep this. So I'd love to see a sweep of this level. I'd take a short there. So Zcash could easily come up here and then go down. That's a great short. Don't really want to chase anything below that. But right now, if they were not to pump this a little bit more, I'm gonna have to see how the 50 MA looks, the 1 hour 50 MA looks at the close. It's likely that we're losing steam here. Why do I say that? Well, if you look at the 50 MA right there and how it curls over, it gives you a pretty good tell of trend. All right. Anytime you see that 50 roll over, right, rolling over here, you're losing steam, you're losing support. This is like a slide. So this needs to start kind of leveling out, provide that support. Otherwise, this really does look distributive at this point. And we got to go back all the way to the USD chart on Zcash to really look at the levels we're at. We will look at that. And this is where we're at. Kind of looks like the XRP chart and the Litecoin chart. And we're at the highs. Okay. And we got a little bit higher we could go. 867. So monthly has good volatility. The monthly cross is actually what sent us right here. Saw that. Saw this breakout. Pretty clean breakout. This was actually a really clean chart, fam. I mean, you literally all you had to do was look at this. All you had to do was long that. Really, really clean chart. Typical crypto chart. Did a 10x. How could you be unhappy if you bought $60 Zeke? So that's Zcash at the highs, at resistance. I'm definitely looking for a short. Solana, I think the line chart is one of the best charts for this one. Um, that looks like a Head and Shoulders. Boom, boom, boom. I forgot to go over Bitcoin RSI at 2 week, but we have bearish divergence. Pretty sure you just simply buy here. Let's look at the 2 week RSI. So you're going to buy this. That's a really good level. Come down here. I'll buy Solana at the 43. And then the next RSI level kind of I would look for is at 39. This is a 2 week, by the way. But Solana. Kind of a double Head and Shoulders. Really ugly 2 week. There's more body than wick. Don't like to see that. So we're at least going to refill that wick. If not, go lower. I see Solana as a giant range. A lot of OGs see this the same way. And that's not by mistake. All right. So we were talking about drawing those boxes earlier. Kind of just having more of a big perspective. Especially on macro charts. But this, nice. Right? Just a box. All it is, box. Got a range here. Until we break below the lows or the highs, and you can even put it like this. It's really tight. Until we break down the lows and highs, that's all we're doing is ranging on Solana. So that's Solana. Ethereum kind of has the same look here. I mean, crazy, right? Just a longer chart. Longer chart. This looks like it's a minimum is going to go to right here. Oh yeah, that's a clean chart. Like why we're definitely Ethereum looks like it's gonna go here. We're gonna have to reclaim the 4,000 there, 4,100 on the 2 week there. But this is Ethereum, pretty clean chart, 2 week, and we'll finish off by going back to Bitcoin. I want to show this. I think this is a really, really good signal, fam. It's not even a signal. Just use your common sense. All right. Use your common sense, fam. All right, this is the 2 week coming in. Okay, 2 week. I want to put this in perspective. Right here, this is the like bottom Bitcoin ETF. Right here, started this huge pennant. Now we've broken down below. Fake out, but pretty sure you're not buying till down here. The 42 week on Bitcoin. Use some common sense. The pennant's clean. That's probably like 90K, maybe lower. Maybe we take out that low right here and confirm a bear market. But yeah, no, I don't think there's a reason to get too excited right here. First resistance 106, then it's like 108, then 111, then 118, or it's like 113 really. But 111, 112, I think is a really important level. And we'll play it level by level here, fam. I think longs are, at least we took some profit on our scalp long. We took it from the lows. Could continue to like 116. That's our second TP. Again, join the Discord, fam. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the love. Hit the like. If you don't like something about this, please write in the comments. Like, is the audio fucked up? Is my TA fucked up? You know, tell me how it can be better. Appreciate all you, fam, and thank you for your support.